Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. This time I thought I'd show some of my favourite US artists. It's all come about because I made a comment on one of Rob Walker's videos and we got into a bit of a conversation, and he asked who did I prefer, artists from the US or the UK. I thought it was a tough one, but I says I think I prefer the UK because of people like David Bowie, the Beatles, Mark Bolan, Slade, T-Rex, well as Mark Bolan, the Rolling Stones, Kinks, Who, etc, etc, etc. But then I thought, well, what US artists do I actually have? So I looked through the collection. I thought I would show some albums by artists that I have at least 2 records of or 2 LPs of. They're not necessarily my favourite albums of them, I just thought I would just show the artists that are from America that are in my collection. So this is all random. Bruce Springsteen, I actually picked this one here because it's got my favourite Bruce Springsteen song on it, Tougher Than the Rest. I don't mind a bit of Bruce Springsteen. Sometimes I have to be in the mood for him, but whenever he's good he's very good, and whenever he's bad I just find him a little bit boring. But I still do like him. Who's this? An artist that very rarely gets shown, Meatloaf. Yeah, this is actually not a bad album. It's follow up to Bad Out of Hell. It's not as good as Bad Out of Hell, but it still has I'm Gonna Love Her for Both of Us on it. The Jimi Hendrix Experience. Yeah, I do like Jimi Hendrix. I'm not the biggest Jimi Hendrix fan. I've only got this and Electric Ladyland. I keep wanting to say Electric Landlady because Kirsty MacColl had an album called Electric Landlady, but this one would be my favourite of the 2 that I've heard. So Jimi Hendrix. One that I very rarely show, Don McLean. I think he's a very good singer-songwriter, and this is the one that he does Roy Orbison's Crying on. There's a beautiful song on this called It's Just the Sun. In fact, this is actually a very good album. Most people cite American Pie and Tapestry. This is up there as well. The Monkees, yes, I know they were manufactured and but still they actually did become a decent band, and I do really like this album more of the Monkees. It's probably their best one. The song I really like off this is Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow, and this is the one with I'm a Believer on it, so the Monkees. These are all in random order, as I say. The Drifters, Good Life for the Drifters. I've mentioned the Drifters before, absolutely adore them. 60s, 70s and 50s. So, and this is the one with I think, yeah, Saturday Night at the Movies, which is one of the best songs ever. Of course, the Supremes, Meet the Supremes. I think this is the one with Where Did Our Love Go on it. Yeah, the best girl group ever. I just love the Supremes. Of course, Roy Orbison. I've always liked Roy Orbison. As I say, I've been getting a few of his albums lately. I've got them all on CD, but it's really nice to have them on vinyl. And this one here, there's only one Roy Orbison, has got Right Away on it and Claudette. It's a good album. The Carpenters, yes, I do like the Carpenters. I think Karen Carpenter's voice is gorgeous. It's so easy listening. You need a little bit of easy listening in your life, and I think this is the one with only Yesterday Once More on it, as well as Sing and Jambalaya. This has also got the little rock and roll medley on side 2. This is actually a good album as well. It's not my favourite. Horizon would be my favourite. The Cars, Rest in Peace, Ric Ocasek. This is the one that gets slagged off a lot. I think this is a really good album. It's one of their best. This is Door to Door from 1987. The single You Are the Girl I think is absolutely magnificent, but it didn't do too well. Of course, Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. This is an absolutely excellent album. Brilliant listen. I Wish is on this. Isn't She Lovely? Fantastic double album, one of the best double albums ever. What have we got? Oh, we're in the 21st century now. The White Stripes, Icky Thump. Great album. I do like Jack White's guitar. His vocals get on my nerves a little bit at times. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for them, but yeah, this is a really, really good album. Not possibly my favourite, maybe my second favourite, but excellent. I think this was their last album. I think so. Another 21st century group, and I adore these three. This is Haim. They have a new single out, which is, as they describe it, it's a very Haimy song. It's the Haimiest of Haimy songs they've done in a long time. So this is their debut album, and it's brilliant, and I cannot wait to hear their third album. Top Hit and the Heartbreakers. This is Hard Promises from 1981. This is the one with the waiting on it, and Letting You Go, and Insider. Very, very good album. As you can see, this is not the same cover as the US version. I actually prefer this cover. The US version, I think he's in a supermarket or something. But yeah, good album, Hard Promises. And Creedence Clearwater Revival, Willie and the Poor Boys. This is just showing how much I really do like American music, because I've still got a big whack here. Excellent album. Again, this along with probably Cosmos Factory would be my favourite, and this has got Down on the Corner on it, Unfortunate Son. Great album. And also I think a special mention needs to be given to John Fogerty, or John Fogerty. I'm not too sure how to pronounce his name, but this has got Almost Saturday Night on it, which was a minor hit for Dave Edmunds, and of course Rockin' All Over the World, which was a big hit in the UK for Status Quo. What's next? Yeah, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and this is Glorious Results of a Misspent Youth. This is another really good album, and this has got the Cherry Bomb on it, her version of the Runaways hit, as well as the version of Gary Glitter's I Love You, Love Me, Love, which I think is really, really good. So I really enjoy this album, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Johnny Cash, I just thought I would lift this one. This is one of his 80s albums, or it might be early 90s, excuse me, and you know, this is Water from the Wells of Home, and this has the Everly Brothers on it, as well as Rosanne Cash, and it features a redone version of Ballad of a Teenage Queen, which is a really, really good song. The Ramones. This is End of the Century, which is the Phil Spector produced album. This is a really, really good album. I don't know much of the Ramones after 1981, but this is one of their first 6 albums. I think this is their 5th one. It's excellent, and it's got the brilliant Rock and Roll High School on it, as well as Do You Remember Rock and Roll, and the hit they had in the UK with Baby I Love You. R.E.M., this is eponymous. This is a compilation album of their IRS years, and it's a really, really good album. I think I said before, I'm beginning to prefer their IRS years to their more commercial Warner Brothers years. The Bangles, of course, with Susanna Hoffs, and this is their greatest hits. I just thought I'd show this, and this has got all the big hit singles. One of my favourite songs of theirs now is actually If She Knew What She Wants. It was never really a big favourite of mine, but I absolutely love it now. Blondie, Auto-American, great album. It's got Titus High and Rapture on it, as well as T-Birds. Really good. Critically not very well acclaimed, this album, but I think it really is excellent, and I love that cover. Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac. This is my favourite guitarist. This is his debut solo album, Law and Order, from 1981, and it's really, really good. Okay, they're not fully American, but really the Pretenders is Chrissie Hynde, who is American. She's from, is it Ohio? And this is Pretenders 2, and recently I have been playing an awful lot of Pretenders and Chrissie Hynde solo material, including a jazz album that she did. Me and jazz do not mix, but it's actually very good. It's a good one for the car. So I may do a video on the Pretenders coming up quite soon, but this is Pretenders, Chrissie Hynde. Talking Heads, and this is their second album, and this is songs about, I can never get this right, buildings and food. I always get it mixed up with the undertone songs, songs about chocolate and girls. I really do like this. I love that song, Thank You for Sending Me an Angel. I think it's absolutely wonderful. This album is not as well received as their others, but I think it really is up there. It really is up there. I really enjoy this. So this is Talking Heads. Iggy Pop, of course, The Idiot, China Girl, Sister Midnight, Nightclubbing, all co-written with and produced with David Bowie. Excellent album. Yeah, produced by David Bowie. I wasn't too sure whether it was Visconti or Bowie. Lou Reed, this is his debut album. This is very underrated, and this has got people like Rick McGuinn and Steve Howe from Yes on it. Yes, they are Velvet Underground songs that never got recorded, but they're still good. And the beautiful I Love You's on this. And Lisa Says, if you listen to this version compared to the Velvet Underground outtake version, this one wins every time. This is a good album. And of course, the Velvet Underground, and this is White Light, White Heat, which is a really weird album, but it grows on you. It really does grow on you. I didn't like this at the start. I had this in CD. I bought it around 1991, 92, but now I really do appreciate this album. I love Lady Godiva's Operation, and what's the other one? Here She Comes Now, and I heard her call My Name is absolutely fantastic. Sparks. I'm not too sure whereabouts in America these guys are from, but they had a huge success over in the UK. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Ron Mael is a genius of a songwriter, he really is. So this is their album from 1981, or is it 82? 81, I think, and this is the one with Eaten by the Monster of Love and the Magnificent Sherlock Holmes on it. Brilliant album. Of course, Madonna. I love Madonna 80s. I'm not too keen on Madonna 90s and beyond, but this is Like a Prayer, and this is one of her best. My favourite is her debut still, but this would probably be a close second, this or True Blue. Melanie, as in Melanie Safka. This is Stone Ground Words, and this has got the beautiful Together Alone song on it. Yeah, Melanie is the Flower Power child. I think she played Woodstock. Gentle looking young singer, but with a voice that could smash glass. Really good. She can shriek like a banshee, and then she can just sing so softly, but excellent singer, an excellent songwriter. The Disco Queen, Donna Summer. This is Once Upon a Time, and this has got Rumour Has It on it, and I Love You, and it's a very good double album. Donna Summer really is the queen of disco, especially in the 70s. Okay, we're getting down, but still quite a few here. Carleen Carter, Blue Nun, Nick Lowe's ex-wife. I got into her through Nick Lowe, but I actually do appreciate her real country stuff from the 1990s onwards. This is country pop, and it was influenced by Nick Lowe. But her album from 1990, which I can't remember the name of, God, I'm getting old, is an absolute classic. Anyway, the name's gone, but this is Blue Nun from 1981. Billy Joel, of course, Glass Houses from 1980, great album. All for Lena, it's still rock and roll to me. Don't ask me why. Really good album, one of his best. Okay. Paul Simon, of course, is one of the big heavyweights for me. Absolutely love him. Of course, Simon & Garfunkel as well, but I adore this. It's not his debut album, but everyone thinks it is. It's his first since the Simon & Garfunkel split. Okay. Who else have we got? Roger McGuinn of the Byrds, and this is Cardiff Rose, and this is probably his best album. In fact, it is his best album. I adore the Byrds. I adore Roger McGuinn. I understand that Gene Clark, and I accept that Gene Clark was probably the best songwriter, but there's something about Roger McGuinn that I really do like, and he does a fantastic version of It's Up to Me, the Bob Dylan song, and it's magnificent. And what a cover. That's such a cool cover. So that's Roger McGuinn and Cardiff Rose. And of course the Byrds themselves, and this is Notorious Byrd Brothers. Another fantastic album with Going Back on It and Wasn't Bound to Follow, along with old John Robertson, Artificial Energy, one of their best. And finally, the Beach Boys. All Summer Long, yeah. Brian Wilson, he was a genius. Well, he probably still is a genius, but I don't know if he writes anymore. He doesn't look too great on stage, but I love the surfing stuff. I also love the later 60s stuff. The 70s material I'm not quite as keen on, but this is the one with I Got Around on It, Wendy as well, and Girls on the Beach. It's a really, really good album. So this is the Beach Boys. So those are probably the best of my US artists. Don't worry, Jeff, I haven't forgotten about them, just in case you're watching. Probably the best US artist ever is Bob Dylan. You have to give it to him. The guy is absolutely brilliant. And I was just thinking about this, is there much Bob Dylan stuff that I just do not like? And apart from the covers albums, those old American covers albums, which are not great, and there's two other covers albums in the early 90s which are acceptable enough, there's really only one album I don't like of his, and that's Under the Red Sky. Even the 80s stuff, the mid 80s stuff like Empire Burlesque and Knocked Out Loaded, and even Down in the Groove have got its moments, but that there is an iconic album. It's fantastic. Highway 61 revisited with I was going to say Roll Away the Stone, Like a Rolling Stone, Tombstone Blues, which I find hilarious, and the best song off this, apart from Like a Rolling Stone, is Desolation Row. So Bob Dylan. So that's a lot of the US artists I actually own on vinyl. Artists that I have more than one album of. There's a few more, I'm sure, like Pat Benatar and so forth, but whenever I was talking to Rob, I was thinking I don't really have that very many US artists until I looked, and I've got a hell of a lot more than I thought. So yeah, Rob, I stand by what I say. It's very, very difficult to say who was the best, the UK or the US. Well, my heart's always with the UK, so it just gets it. So anyway, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.